I'm ready to jump in the Enduro now and go cause some ruckus.
Give us an update.
What's up, buddy? Oh, which one? Celica is what it is. Play with the pressures a little bit, try to get the rotate a little more. I'm starting 4th in that. Starting 11 in this. Finally running all right, not cutting off. So, hopefully it makes the whole race. That's the goal tonight. If I get top 10, top 5, it's a bonus, you know. It's got a whole lot more power. Just got to get it to turn. It wants to push like a mad dog. We shall see what it does.
Billy Robinson, drive the number 27 U car for Radical Motorsports. Out here at Langley Speedway today, qualified 9th. Hopefully we can drive around some people and maybe park it, but let's do the best we can, have fun.
You got any sponsors you want to thank?
Just Goods Automotive, Jamie Good, Jim Good, and Captain's Autos. They're about the only sponsors I got, so if anybody wants to help sponsor somebody, sponsor your local racer, just hit me up on Facebook.
All right, we got Tim Vincent, 24 Enduro. Tell us about the last week you had.
Hey guys, last week, well, I had a hole in the radiator and didn't realize it. So 13 laps into the race, car quit on me, overheated. Hopefully I haven't hurt anything. It ran well at practice today. We'll see what happens in the race. I'd like to thank my sponsors, Dashing Dogs, Groom and Boarding and Daycare in Carrollton, Virginia. I'd like to thank Best Wave Plumbing, located in Coaston, Virginia. Also like to thank Smoke Barbecue. Here I'd like to thank Dr. Anthony Carter, Hampton Roads Orthopedic, Spine, and Sports Medicine. Stickers this year were done by TGD Wraps, and we'll see what the number 24 does tonight.
So what's up, guys? So far you've seen our content we collected on May 8th, 2021 at Larry King Lawler's Langley Speedway at Courtyard by Marriott, night of the races. So as far as Radical Motorsports is concerned, we had twin modifieds with our driver Sean Atkins, and we actually need to do a better job of getting some content and some exposure of him, because it's just so busy when we get to the track and we're dealing with our own stuff, and we just need to do a better job of getting some coverage of him. But anyway, we had the modifieds. He was driving that. Had several drivers in the U-Car division, and then at the end of the night in Enduros, you had myself, my dad, Tim, and then Dwight Nichols as well. So anyway, getting into how the night went, in the first twin modified race, Sean Atkins had some bad luck, got caught up, crashed in turn 3, and was out for the rest of that race. Luckily, he was able to get his car back together and finish with a strong 11th place finish in the second race. And there's a Honda driving by. So anyway, U-Car race, that was a good race. So we had Dwight Nichols in there, also Billy Robertson and Robert Zero. Robert Zero, I don't know if you guys remember from previous videos, finished second the last time they were out on the track, but after a disqualification ended up being given the win. So Robert Zero got the pole, started off the race and led most of the first half of the race. And then his car started to fall off. He got passed ultimately by Bill Aker and Christian Keller. He held it together though, finished with a strong 4th place finish. So not too bad for Robert DeZero. Dwight Nichols was out there in the number 7 machine for the first time with the new car. I'm sure y'all seen the Joker getting built. That's that lime green one. And he actually Stayed in 10th place for most of the race, but late in the race was able to pass Robbie Morris and finish with a 9th place position. Billy Robinson out there again, looking good in that number 27 Nissan Sentra. He ended up finishing 8th, just ahead of our teammate Dwight, and it's a good run for him as well. On to the end of the night, so the Enduro division. That's what I run with this car. My dad also runs in the number 24. Dwight had the Celica out there as well, the black number 7. So a little funny, we got started off after I guess some people dropped out or whatever. I was supposed to start 9th, ended up starting 7th. My dad started just outside of me in 8th place. And at the start of the race, got a good jump. I actually went into turns 1 and 2 in 4th place. But because of another driver jumping the start, we actually pulled the yellow flag and had to come out and restart the race a second time. I wish we would have kept the first start because, you know, being in 4th place going into turns 1 and 2, that was a good jump for me. But anyway, we restarted the race and lined up the same as we did the first time. Except for this time, Dwight Nichols decided to turn his Toyota Celica into an airplane. And he got up brushing doors with William Fontaine right at the start-finish line, started the race. And their tires touched and it sent him on a wild ride. That happened right in front of me. I backed off trying to avoid it. And I didn't get as good of a start as I did the first time. But couple laps into the race, my power steering went out. So I got to work out finishing the rest of the race with no power steering. But I ended up ultimately finished 16th place. My dad, the number 24 Celica, he started out pretty strong. Then the car started to have a little bit of a misfire, something like that. He lost some power. And he ultimately finished up in 13th place. As far as Dwight Nichols, after his wild ride on the front stretch on the first lap, he ran pretty strong after that, but he did some damage to the suspension. And that ultimately gave up on him about lap number 17, I believe it was. And he ended up getting into another vehicle when the car broke and had to pull it into the pits for the rest of the night. And he's credited with finishing in 19th place. So anyway, that's how the race night went for all of Radical Motorsports. I believe the only Radical Motorsports teammate we had that did not race was Chris Spangler in the Super Street. And so I believe next weekend he's going to have a chance to get back out on the track again and see what that car can do. But anyway, so let's end this video. We'll talk to a couple drivers after the race. And we'll see you next time at Radical Motorsports.
What's up, buddy?
All right, how'd the race go?
It was still pushing, but man, Chris played with the pressures and stuff like that. He got it a whole lot better than it was. It was a handful at the beginning of the race. I was kind of scared it was going to get tighter, but surprisingly enough, it freed up. About lap 10, I started finally finding a groove in it. Got past Robbie there and secured the top 10. Unfortunately, I seen Nick Deans pulling down. I don't know what happened to him. Hopefully his car's okay. But that bumped me up to 9th. So untested car and everything else, I feel like it was a real solid finish. Definitely, I'm ready to jump in the Enduro now and go cause some ruckus.
Can we get a letter cut? D0. I race at Honda Del Sol, sponsored by Cousin Tone in Recovery, Matco Toolman Cliff, and Creech Floor Services. And I finished 2nd on April 10th. First placeman at 1 degree off of camber, so they gave me a win. So here's the trophy.
How'd your race go tonight?
Got the pole, ran out front for about 8 laps, and then the car fell off, and then came back and ended up finishing 4th. Come out and do it again.
Good deal.
Radical Motorsports.
Also would like to mention that we are glad that William Fontaine is okay. He had a pretty bad accident on the front stretch really early in the Enduro race. So good thanks that he made it out of the car and he was walking around, seemed okay that night. So we hope to see him back out there soon.